Hit it.
Hello and welcome to a brand new installment of Nintendo News Report for Thursday, January 25th, 2018. I'm Alex Kalafi, hosting yet another Nintendo News Report, except in this case, we are celebrating the year 2017 in video games. In this past year's, since we started in 2014, what we've done is we've each gone around and we've done our top list. Like, this is my top 5, my number 4 game of the year, my number 3, and we all did individual lists. But this time, taking direct inspiration from many outlets, but specifically Giant Bomb, what we're going to be doing is we have this list of games right here that is visible on the YouTube, but I will read it to everyone. And we're going to come up with a ranked top 5 game of the year that best represents all 5 of the people in this Google Hangout. I am joined by Donald Terrio.
Just before we begin, I need to make one quick amendment. We had a listing for a game. It really should be under its proper title. Outer Moon, better known as Mantine Surf.
What was that? The good part of that game?
That was the best part of it. That was the best extreme sports game since I think Tony Hawk 4.
Tony Hawk 4 was. Did you not like American Wasteland? I thought that was a fine video game.
No, Tony Hawk 3 is the peak of the series.
Yep.
4 is also very good. American Wasteland is a totally fine game, but trying to think of a good modern comparison for where the series was at that point, where it was diminishing returns. Like Tony Hawk 4, Tony Hawk 3 is the best of the 2-minute runs. Tony Hawk 4 opened the open world stuff. I think Thug might be the best story driven stuff that they did. Slowly downhill from there. Some of those games are totally fine, just not at the heights as they were in 3, 4, and Thug.
That's Neal Ronahan. Hello.
Hi.
Also joined by Zachary Miller. Oh, yeah, Neal.
Everybody try to guilt me into doing my video series that I've been wanting to do for a very long time, which is a Nintendo-focused look at Tony Hawk entitled Tony Hawk Through Time. So if anybody wants me to record a lot of footage of my N64 copy of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 that came out in 2002, let's do it.
Tony Hawk Through Time.
I just want to see him and his son on a half pipe for 8 hours a day at E3. That's Tony Hawk experience.
Zachary Miller.
Personally, the best win in the series is the Game Boy Advance version of Tony Hawk 2.
So that was Vicarious Visions, which I got to go up. That's in Albany, New York, and I got to go up there for some Skylanders stuff. And I was talking to a guy whose first role at Vicarious Visions was working on Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 on Game Boy Advance.
Nice.
And apparently, when he first joined the staff, they had that, and it was awful and was not really a good game, let alone a good skateboarding game. And he was one of the people that worked hard on it. A good game. And that is a shockingly good game.
Shockingly good, yeah.
Yeah.
And Justin Berube.
Yep. Guess I'm going to have to talk about Zelda again today, aren't I?
Yeah.
His game of the year is the Pro Controller D-pad.
Already revised once. Let's see what happens this year.
Oh boy, I don't even know who's gonna win the brawl between Mario Odyssey and Zelda Breath of the Wild. But we'll see. We'll see.
It's gonna be real tough because I think there's some lines in the sand already drawn, and I don't think we're going to be able to agree.
All right.
I've been thinking about this because I think I might be immovable and that Zelda's higher than Mario for me, and I don't think Berube's gonna agree with me. I don't think
Not at all.
And I don't think we're going to find a middle ground here. I think it's impossible.
All right. Well,
Cage is being lowered.
let me read the video game nominees for Game of the Year Nintendo News Report 2017. We have Mario Odyssey. We have Zelda Breath of the Wild, Splatoon 2, ARMS, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, a game that no one has beaten, Mario plus Rabbids, Fire Emblem Warriors, Sonic Mania, Snipper Clips, Fast RMX, Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, Fire Emblem Echoes, Shadows of Valentia, Metroid Samus Returns, Puyo Puyo Tetris, SteamWorld Dig 2, Battle Chef Brigade, Ever Oasis, Star Fox 2, Tumbleseed, Gorogoa, Dragon
Gorogoa.
Gorogoa,
Gorgonzola.
Gorgonzola, Dragon Quest VIII, Stardew Valley, Fire Emblem Heroes, The End Is Nigh, and Never Stop Sneaking. My first question is, can we count Dragon Quest VIII if like we had this?
Are we counting Fast RMX? Are we counting Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon?
Yeah.
Are we counting Puyo Puyo Tetris? Are we counting
Star Fox 2?
Well, here's
Yeah,
the
but Star
discussion.
Fox 2 is actually a new game.
Yes
Ultra
and
Sun,
no.
Ultra Moon is a new video game.
Yeah, sure. You can keep telling yourself that. Dragon Quest 8 is more of a new game than that one.
There's a bunch of new shit in Dragon Quest VIII that wasn't on PS2.
Yeah.
I'm
It's also
getting
the first
mad
time it's
hostility. I was just asking. I didn't know if this was a
Also,
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe
Dragon Quest
situation
8
or an Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, or like Samus
Okay,
Returns.
okay.
I didn't know which.
I have a non-trolly response to that. Dragon Quest 8 on 3DS is the first time it's ever been on a Nintendo platform. If we
True.
disqualify that, then we also have to disqualify Stardew Valley and Puyo Puyo Tetris and probably a couple other games. Like if we are just discounting the game for being older, then no. If we're discounting but it's the first time on a Nintendo platform, which
I
at
like
least
that.
for the site-wide end of the year awards, that's kind of our line in the sand. And that Stardew Valley, for example, this is the first time it's been on a Nintendo platform. Rocket League, the same thing. They're eligible for GOTY for Nintendo World Report because of that.
Okay.
And we have an ongoing vote for that right now that I believe Rocket League is still in, last I checked.
Yeah. Rocket League is against Steam World Dig 2.
Wow.
That's for a Final Four spot. Who will lose to Zelda? Steam World Dig 2 or Rocket League?
I don't know,
It's like a
man.
Super Bowl situation here.
I don't know, man.
Dude,
Steam
Who will
World Dig
lose to
2
the
is a better
Patriots, the
game.
Eagles, or the Vikings?
Yeah.
I will point out that according to NWR, Steam World Dig 2 is a better video game than Breath of the Wild. That's not just Jeff Gersman talking.
Oh, God.
I agree with that.
Did Puyo Puyo Tetris come out on PS4 in the West last year? Because I feel like coming out in the West for the first time is something worth considering.
Didn't it come out simultaneously for
Is
everybody?
Puyo Puyo Tetris on anyone's top 5?
No.
No. It's gonna
No.
get cut. I was just curious about the logistics because when you said that, I was like, "Oh, did that come out on PS4
I mean,
last year?" Because I don't remember.
They were the same day.
I just assumed Puyo Puyo Tetris isn't making this list. So
No.
It
It was your reasoning. Also, is Fast RMX actually a port or is it a sequel? I just played it this year and liked it, but I didn't know where
It's
it
a
was.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe situation.
All right, fuck it, I'll cut it.
Can we maybe par down the Fire Emblem list? There's 3 Fire Emblem games here.
Donald,
Okay.
pick
Should
one.
be 0.
Pick one.
Exactly.
I'm gonna catch. You really don't want me to pick the one
It's
because the
gonna be
one I would
Heroes.
pick will. Okay, yeah, we can keep
Yeah.
Heroes.
Is Heroes on this list? Did I miss that?
It,
There it is.
It's at the. Yeah.
Honestly, I think if you were to ask me out of those 3 games, it'd be Heroes is a pretty good mobile game.
I don't know.
Like,
The random stuff really ticks me off.
Heroes,
I'm not saying
Heroes.
great.
We'll say this: Heroes is in my top 5 for the year. I can't put it any higher than 5th, but I can't really put it any lower than 5th just because of how much time I've actually put into that game.
So
longevity wise, Heroes is the Nintendo mobile game that I've spent the longest time on. Like Animal Crossing kept my attention for like 2-3 weeks. I played through Mario Run, picked it up for Remix 10, which is a pretty cool update.
Yeah.
But Fire Emblem Heroes, I played consistently for like 3 months. And then every now and then I pick it up and I'm just like, oh, they're Easter bunnies now, or like, I guess it's they're in bathing suits, and then I usually put Fire Emblem Heroes down. Not that, I mean, if you're into that sort of thing, cool. It's just that like I'm in it for like the story stuff, which I might actually go through because they added that like second quest.
Yeah,
that was kind of fun.
There was a new chapter today. Some stuff went down. Let's put it that way.
All right, keep Heroes on for now. That's my vote.
All right, then how about these other 2, Echoes and Warriors? I'm in the anti-Echoes camp. Personally,
I am as well.
Yeah, that it gets off to a good start, but it really falls apart.
Yeah, I think the back half of Echoes is bad. I think the first half is some great Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So that one.
And I have no as the person, given the circumstances behind how I had to play Warriors, I got no problem letting that one go. I didn't.
I did not play enough of Warriors to really say too much about it.
Yeah, I didn't play it. I just know I'm not really a fan of the Warriors, Muso type games, so I probably would cut it regardless.
Same.
I have a few, or I have a concession in that Gorogoa. I'm cool with cutting that. I think I'm the only person that played it.
Yep.
I just think that's a cool ass game, and I wanted to call it out. So,
All right.
Well, let's
we can take it off.
Let's cut snippy clippies too, please.
Hold on. We're cutting things and then not actually claiming we're cutting it. So Fire Emblem Warriors, we've established we're cutting, and then Echoes we're cutting. Fast RMX I cut very quickly only because I didn't realize it was a Mario Kart 8 Deluxe situation. But that game is awesome. I think it's one of the strongest indie games in the Switch library at launch. And I had a lot of fun. I think they captured the F-Zero thing better than a lot of these. It's like a Nintendo game, indie games have on the Switch this year.
Yeah, I think I Fast RMX would be more memorable for me if I didn't play a lot of that game on Wii U. Because it is it's essentially the same game. It just it's better online and stuff, and it looks nicer.
It's got a new hat.
It's not on Wii U. That's a plus.
And you cut Gorogoa.
Yeah.
All right. It's good though. I hear it's very short. I read that in your review.
It's $15 on the Switch, which is a little steep for Switch, but you can get it for I think $5 on mobile. So just do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not on the Android marketplace yet.
It's not?
Oh, no, I tried. Or at least it's not on Google Play.
Yeah, okay. I mean, that's
maybe you need that
Amazon marketplace.
Maybe you need that Amazon App Store, the one when we get your Player One podcast iPhone application.
Yeah. And Zach, you're suggesting we should cut snipper clips next?
Yes, please, God.
What? I didn't play it.
I think Snipper Clips is really awesome. It's a really inventive co-op game. It does things in video games that I haven't really seen before, which is notable, but I will concede that I'm probably the only person that really would give too much support to that here, and it's not even in my personal top 5.
Is it one of the best 3 that's not locked on this list?
No.
I get a very controversial suggestion after Snippy Clippy goes away here.
All right.
I think I agree we should cut Splatoon 2.
Yes.
I'm on the fence with that one. I'd leave it for now.
Is that what you were arguing for?
No. I was going to say take Xenoblade and Rabbids, move them in between Zelda and Splatoon, and we call this a show.
No. Splatoon 2.
No.
Splatoon 2, okay. If you want to throw down with Splatoon 2, I'll throw down with Splatoon 2.
Splatoon 2 is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with Splatoon.
Splatoon 2 is
more than that.
They fixed a
Splatoon
lot more
2 is a fantastic
in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Mostly in post-game updates.
I'm talking about the fact that not everything is completely up to ridiculous chance, thanks to
Okay. I forgot about
a big deal to me. I mean, you still have to go through a lot of stuff, but I feel like in the end, I'm not working toward almost nothing like in the first.
Oh no, I have lost the chat.
So, Splatoon 2 is a much better game than the first. The single player is still garbage like the first, but the multiplayer is much better. I still haven't tried the new mode.
The Clamblitz?
Here's my little bit of a... Oh yeah, I haven't played Clamblitz either. When you lose your save data for a game like Splatoon 2 after you put 50 hours into it, kind of kills your will to get back into it. So going back to Clamblitz is something that I would like to do at some point. But
if I lost my Zelda or Xenoblade data, I'd probably just jump off a cliff.
Well, you'll find me at the bottom because that's how I feel about losing my Zelda data from the beginning of the year.
Maybe at the bottom of that cliff, Justin, there's a Korok seed.
No, there's probably 8 of them in puzzles I've done elsewhere in the world, and I need a special DLC mask to even know that they may be down there.
What a wonderful celebration of video games last year, you guys. It's so Splatoon 2. I think if we went purely qualitatively, you could make a case for Splatoon 2 being one of the best 5 games of this year. Although, because it's an emotional group think one that we're trying to source and figure out together. My case against Splatoon 2 is that even though you're right, Justin, it is a better game than the original. I thought like all of my feelings, my positive feelings towards Splatoon already went in the first game. And when I played a second game that to me was so similar to the first game, even though I acknowledged it was better, it didn't excite me the same way the first Splatoon
Salmon
did.
Run. Salmon Run is really
Salmon
good.
Run's good, and I have like the inverse feelings about the two games as you, because I thought the first Splatoon was all right, but I couldn't get into it. But I think the fact that it's on this device I could bring with me anywhere, that actually helped a lot.
What are you gonna do with it anywhere? You're gonna be like at the mall, like, oh, I can't connect online.
Well, when I travel to other houses, which I do a lot, it would just be like, oh, I can't bring Splatoon with me, so I'm not playing it this week, you know? So I actually logged a lot.
You have to go to Starbucks with Ethan Einhorn, and you two can sit in the corner and play your Splatoon 2.
You laugh. I have actually.
Hey, you want to meet up? If anyone wants to meet up at Starbucks and play some Splatoon, I mean, I'm not going to buy that overpriced coffee. I'm going to get some good old Wawa coffee and walk into the to Starbucks.
Does Wawa have free Wi-Fi? Let's play Splatoon at Wawa.
I will say that I have actually sat near a Starbucks and played Splatoon 2 Salmon Run locally, and it's kind of fun.
Okay.
It's just I haven't really had the urge to go back for more Splatfests.
Okay, so hold on. So we're all kind of, I can't tell at this point if we're divided on Splatoon 2 or if
I think it should hang out for a little while.
If it's hanging on, can we delete ARMS instead? Because between the two, Splatoon's the better game.
Well, it's not this or that, but I think ARMS should go strictly by its own merits.
But ARMS is a lot better than Zelda, right?
Oh, God.
ARMS is 5 hours of good video game.
5 fun hours.
So
I would if we're sorting this list, and I know, and actually Splatoon 2 was on my personal top 30 and ARMS didn't make it. But I think I'd rather see ARMS on this top 5 than Splatoon 2.
yeah, I think you're the only person who actually will go there, Neal.
But okay, so my thing with ARMS is that I think ARMS is very thin on content, but like it's a very cool fighting game, and playing it with people who have not played it before is an absolute blast. I've been having a very good time with my niece, who is getting increasingly more into this game. Big crash though. I don't know if that mode is any good.
Now,
ARMS
how much
Test
would you
Punch
pay?
number 1.
I thought on ARMS it's a fun game, but I think there's like a higher learning curve than you would think to get to that higher level, and I think it's really difficult to like really find, since it seems like a niche fighting game, it's really hard to find good tutorials on strategies and what's been changing a lot in the updates, which makes it hard to get into. And I also think there's a big problem with the control methods, because on the one hand the motion controls give you like the better punches, but then the traditional controls give you better character movement, and there's no middle ground option, which would be ideal, where if you could just hold both Joy-Con normally and throw punches somehow that way and actually use the stick to move your character, I think that somehow would be the optimal way to enjoy this game, and you can't do that. And I think those factors combined hurt ARMS.
So
I eagerly await the sequel, which will be Splatoon 2 to ARMS 2.
It'll be called Legs.
What
it'll use the Labo.
You're gonna you strap the Joy-Cons to the knee pads that you made with Labo, and it's a kickboxing game. That would be game of the year. Yeah. Right now, ARMS is not it.
What if we take out some of the easy fodder before? Like, it seems like there's at least some opinions on these top 4 or 5, and then actually probably these 6 we probably shouldn't touch yet. How about Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon? That was an okay game, but I don't even remember. All right. How about Puyo Puyo?
Mantine Surf.
Mantine Surf.
Puyo Puyo Tetris. Take it off. Take it off.
That alone is a crime against humanity.
It's a very good game. But
it's a great multiplayer game. Not a very strong single player. It doesn't matter, but it's a really weak single player in that game.
Sonic Mania can probably go. Can it?
Well, we're speeding through this. Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon was a good Pokemon follow-up to the original Sun and Moon. Although, much like Splatoon 2 to Splatoon 1, I felt like all of my positive feelings for Sun and Moon were in the much fresher first game. Like by doing a sequel to Sun and Moon, not a sequel, but by doing such a straightforward third version to such fresh games, I felt like even though I gave it a very positive review, it does such an original Pokemon game a disservice by just treating it the same way you would any other third version, and just shoving an improved cash grab out the door. Like I don't remember most of that game.
Mantine Surf is pretty cool though.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. All right.
Well, Crystal came out today. That's a pretty good third version.
When it comes to Pokemon third versions, I kind of wish there was an option to just be like transfer save data and just do the new stuff.
Yeah.
Like seriously, just let me do that. I don't need to play through the whole game again.
Yeah. Zach, what was your next suggestion?
Sonic Mania.
Well, the Sonic Mania.
Okay. How do we feel about that? I want to play.
It's a good Sonic game. It's not in the top 5 games of the year.
It's that game really peaks at the end of the second zone. After that, it's downhill from there.
It's glorious. You might say that the end of the second zone is one of the 3 gaming moments of the year.
Oh, that list we're doing on this episode.
We decided that before the show, by the way, folks, if you're wondering.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You should read your emails, Alex.
No.
There was a meeting.
Yeah, I should.
Metroid
Dig 2, what a good game, huh? Oh.
SteamWorld Dig 2 is,
really good.
In my eyes, a mortal lock for the top 5.
We'll see. There's a lot.
Maybe with you there, Neal.
Samus Returns.
Yeah,
I honestly might like it more than Samus Returns.
I do like it more than Samus Returns. I think both of those games are very, very good, and in my personal top 5 of the year. So, hey.
Well, let's keep going down here. And
so Metroids, we're holding on to Metroid for now. We'll have the Metroid talk later. I don't even know what the Metroid talk will end up being, but we'll hold on to that for now. Star Fox 2, how is that going to be a top 5 game of the year?
I still haven't played it. I feel bad about that.
I haven't played much of it.
It's my number 9. I love Star Fox 2. It's incredible.
If this was like news-making game of the year, Star Fox 2 is like top 3. But this is like best game, and folks, there's a reason that game never came out.
It's really good. It's like crazy inventive and ahead of its time.
It didn't.
If that came out as an indie game, people would be like, "It's a little rough around the edges, but it's really cool."
It didn't come out because they were busy remaking the original Star Fox for N64.
Star Fox 2 it again for Wii U.
Yeah.
Star Fox 2 gives us a view of the alternate timeline in which the Star Fox series did not become this weird abomination in which every game is either a remake of the original or some unholy spin-off.
Yeah.
That's what happened with Star Fox. If Star Fox 2 came out, Star Fox 2 was wildly different in structure from the previous game. A structure that really, until Star Fox Zero and I guess Star Fox Command also kind of traipsed on it too, but Star Fox Zero is like a less complex game than Star Fox 2. It's crazy. Like Star Fox 2 is the Star Fox sequel that I always wanted, just a little rough around the edges because it was originally made for the Super Nintendo in 1996.
Yeah.
I would rather live in the alternate timeline where Star Fox 2 came out, Star Fox 64 didn't come out.
We need a Star Fox Historia timeline here.
Well, there's 3 Star Fox timelines, and not counting the comic.
Oh, God,
I think
it's like maybe Star Trek. You're gonna see like old Peppy in the new one.
Well, I really like that one ending in Command where he had Old Man Falco.
I do. My favorite is the ending in Command where like Falco's like, Fox, I know Crystal died, but how about we go race some cars?
Oh yeah. G0 or whatever they end up.
But we can take off Star Fox 2. I said my piece.
All right, is Tumbleseed one of the 5 games?
No. It's
okay.
fun.
Tumbleseed's really great. It's
brutally hard. Good Lord.
Did you go back and play after the 4 Peaks update?
That's when I got it.
Me too.
Okay.
I got through the first 2 Peaks.
I love that game.
I tapered off of that.
You know what, Justin? I feel like you might like the original, or I mean, I guess it's like still in there, but like the regular mode, I feel like you'd like that more than the.
Yeah, it sounds brutal. I think my big problem with that, the game it's just very slow. So to like,
yes, it is.
Build back up to like those other peaks would just take a long time. So
yeah,
I think that's my number one complaint. I mean, I understand why it has to be slow because it's so precise in everything, but maybe it could be refined more to speed up the gameplay a little bit without screwing you over. But
I can see that. Like I got very into like I think that like the vibe and style of that game helped make up for some of those maybe frustrating repetition.
Mm-hmm.
Just the nature of the game with the the using the 2 sticks to control the bar at the bottom makes it so you can't really speed through it, which it's an element of like design is having that kind of like, oh, you died, now you got to start back over. But whereas in a game like Enter the Gungeon or Binding of Isaac, it's a lot easier to kind of go from 0 to 60, and Tumbleseed, it takes a lot longer.
I need to get that Gungeon game too.
It's really good. I've been playing that recently. That also came out in 2016 or 17. Originally came out in 2016.
Yeah.
But Enter the Gungeon is very good. I haven't really played it enough yet to be able to say anything, and it's not high on my list.
Okay.
It's not my top 10, which are really the games that I put on here are games that were in my top 10.
Yeah.
And Tumbleseed is in my top 10, and I really love that game, but we can axe it.
Yeah.
See, I think the energy needs to be saved here, so I'll kick off my selection for roguelike of the year, because I do prefer it when in a game that's going to have randomly generated dungeons, at least give me a good excuse.
Are you? Which one are you referring to? Oh, it's Donald. You gotta at least tell us. You gotta tell us about Never Stop Sneaking.
Yeah, Never Stop Sneaking, a game with a great sense of humor, and I think it's the first roguelike I've ever played that actually has a reasonable excuse for why everything is randomly generated, because it's all time travel shenanigans.
And that is a pretty good reason.
It's a very simple concept, and it does eventually start to wear out its welcome. But I'm having a lot of fun going around bashing people as dust from an Elysian tale with a hockey stick.
Yeah, I do like that. Like that, you can get like a banana as a weapon. Like some of that stuff's real fun.
You can get rid of The End Is Nigh. I just wanted to say that it was a surprise pick in my top 5, and now that I've played Meat Boy for way too long, I can say that The End Is Nigh is a much better game.
Really? Because I'm playing Meat Boy right now and loving it.
The End Is Nigh.
I really want to play End Is Nigh.
Meat Boy is like mean-spirited, but The End Is Nigh. Every level is like a puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really want to check out The End Is Nigh, especially, although I might need to take a break because I played through a bunch of Meat Boy when that came out, and then I just played through Celeste, which is amazing. And The End Is Nigh, like, as I'm kind of on this run of like, oh yeah, these really hard platformers, I forgot I liked them a lot. The End Is Nigh seems like a game that I should check out, because The End Is Nigh seems to remind me, talk about it, Zach, it reminds me of more of what Celeste is than what Meat Boy is.
Okay.
Because it's all like End Is Nigh, it's not distinct levels, it's interconnected like worlds, right?
Well, it's you can warp to the beginning of any level, but then you have to go through each stage sequentially.
Okay. Yeah.
Which kind of blows, but once you've done it once, you know how to do it.
Yeah.
But it's better than Meat Boy, you're saying?
I think it's better than Meat Boy.
If I played it, I might be fighting for it more. Like
I don't want to throw my Switch across the room as much when I'm playing The End Is Nigh.
Okay. Okay. So it's hard, but in a more pleasant way. You're saying?
Yeah, hard, but in a more doable way.
Okay. And you're good to cut that, Zach.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna reread the list just because we've cut so many of them.
Down to 13.
Down to 13. Mario Odyssey, Zelda Breath of the Wild, Splatoon 2, ARMS, Xenoblade 2, Mario & Rabbids, Metroid Samus Returns, SteamWorld Dig 2, Battle Chef Brigade, Ever Oasis, Dragon Quest 8, Stardew Valley, Fire Emblem Heroes, and I will submit we can have the Breath of the Wild discussion, and we will. And this isn't necessarily a hard lock, although realistically it probably is. Yes. We should move Mario and Zelda over and admit that we're choosing 3 spots, not 5.
Oh, yeah. Most definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
We can get rid of Stardew Valley, by the way.
I agree.
Yeah, I bought that game. I have not had the gumption to actually start it.
There you go.
Who added this to the list, and why was it added? No one liked it.
I put it on because I figured someone had to bring it up because it was a very big deal, and I figured I didn't realize that I found the one podcast on the internet that does not like Stardew Valley.
Well, can I ask why it was such a big deal?
We haven't really played it. I think that might be more the reason why we're not over the moon about Stardew Valley.
True.
Yeah, I intend to play it at some point. It's a big time commitment.
Yeah.
And we've made someone in the chat room. I don't know if they're laughing or crying.
Both.
So, Stardew Valley.
I played an hour of it on PC. I remember getting it for the Humble Bundle monthly. Like it was $12 for the bundle of games or whatever. And I remember it being totally Harvest Moon with a taste of Animal Crossing. And it seems pretty good, but I played an hour, didn't play anymore. And I'm sorry to everyone watching this who will say after the show they either hated every game on this list or didn't play them but added them anyways. And I'm afraid that Stardew Valley is going to be one of the more tragic deletions from this list. But Rising from the Ashes, did anyone play Rocket League?
No.
I did play Rocket League.
Yeah, Rocket League is very good.
I'm very meh on Rocket League.
And
can you what did you not min max it, Justin?
Well, there's nothing to really min max the game. I just thought it.
How high's your rank?
Not high at all.
Have you played hoops?
No, I haven't played.
What about the hockey puck?
2 or 3 nights, and no, I didn't see a hockey puck. The interface seemed a little odd to me, and the gameplay just seemed like there's a huge learning curve, and I just was not having fun chasing a ball around for hours on end.
Yeah,
Justin, I'm just curious, where do you stand on Blast Ball?
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing.
I did not like Blast Ball. I think that was the worst part of that game.
Yep, absolutely right.
Cut that out of there, throw it in the trash, and let me enjoy Federation Force.
Yep.
All right.
Great game, by the way.
And next up then is Battle Chef Brigade one of the top 5 games of the year?
I did not play it.
It's my number 2.
I intend to play it, but I have not played it.
It's your number 2. Neal, you like that game too.
Wait, which game?
Battle Chef Brigade.
Yeah, I love Battle Chef Brigade. It's very good.
Hey, there's a game people played. Tell me more.
Who else is on my team? It's Donald, right?
Sorry.
Yeah. So Battle Chef Brigade is a mixture of match 3 puzzles, side-scrolling combat, and Iron Chef, and it's fantastic. It's got a really nice story, very nice animation. It's like an anime that you play.
And even after you beat the story, the daily challenge is fun and challenging.
Yeah, daily challenges are a good time. I should get back to that at some point.
So does it stay as one of the remaining 3?
It's one of my top 5 games of the year, so I'd say yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Neal, you don't have to pick between these two, but because it's so stacked, Ever Oasis and Battle Chef Brigade, can you give Ever Oasis the same passion that you give to Battle Chef Brigade?
I could, but it would be slightly under Battle Chef Brigade.
I haven't even played Battle Chef Brigade, and I'd put it above Ever Oasis.
I really do love Ever Oasis, but I'm okay with taking it off this list. I think it's a neat action RPG that shows that Grezzo can do really cool things, and learned a lot from remaking 3D Zeldas over the past couple of years.
It's a shame they will never get that chance again.
Yeah, because Ever Oasis came out on the 3DS 3 months after the Switch, and no one cares.
I loved several hours of it, I'll say that.
Yeah, I wound up putting like 25, 30 hours into that game. I played a good chunk of the post game. I got really into that world. It just it's got a good happy feedback loop, and I like how the systems kind of interact with each other, where you have like your town where you're building up the shops, and you have to like make sure you get ingredients and stuff out in the field, and then as you progress, you can get your different characters that you unlock along the way and get to be your villagers. You can send them out to get ingredients later on, and then you go out and explore dungeons and explore the overworld. Like everything just works in harmony, and it's all about just making the world a better place. And I I like that game a whole lot, but it can go.
We're getting in a pretty stacked 3 places. Hey, either Mario or Zelda could be kicked out of the top 5. They won't, but they could be.
No, I think one could be. Yeah.
I mean,
I think you can get rid of
Splatoon 2 and ARMS.
At this point, yeah, exactly. You can get.
I mean, if you guys are going to fight for all these indie games, which is fine, I don't mean to use that in a derogatory way, but if you're going to do that,
I'm sorry, Alex. Should we just do Mario, Zelda, Splatoon, ARMS, and Xenoblade, and then just have it be all Nintendo games?
No,
because we're Nintendo will report. I guess we should just have Nintendo games. Do this.
I said I wasn't being derogatory. I said because we have all these passions for the indie games, should we take Splatoon 2 and ARMS out? And just make it way easier.
Yes.
Yeah.
I said that a while ago when nobody believed me.
Now we're ready to.
Let me see what my top 3 would be here real quick. I think we can do it, maybe.
So ARMS,
I think we can do it. I think we can do it. Yeah.
But
ARMS and Splatoon 2, take them out.
Splatoon 2, really good sequel, and I like that they did something more interesting with it than Mario Kart 8 Deluxe did with that game.
Splatoon 2 and ARMS are both very good games.
I would put Splatoon 2 over Zelda, but I know no one else here is going to agree with that.
I will leave this podcast.
If they had focused on Callie instead of Marie, I would probably have fought harder for Splatoon 2, I do admit.
All right, so we are down to, 7 for 3?
Yeah.
Xenoblade, Mario and Rabbids, Metroid Samus Returns, SteamWorld Dig 2, Battle Chef Brigade, Dragon Quest 8, and Fire Emblem Heroes.
I think we can kill Fire Emblem Heroes.
Zach,
agree.
You gotta let Donald agree with that.
I'm gonna vote to kill it.
Yeah, I think I can understand it. Like I said, it's number 5 on my list because I couldn't justify putting it any higher or lower. So
yeah,
in that instance, it made the top 10. I'm satisfied.
I think the best Nintendo mobile game.
Yeah, I think I think that Super Mario Run is a very cool game, but it just doesn't have the legs of Fire Emblem Heroes.
And my problem with Heroes is everything comes down to random character generation, which is just makes me want to rip my hair out.
But hey, it's the best of the mobile games. It's a good game. Donald loves it so much.
All right, wait. Let's go to news. R.I.P. Miitomo.
Yeah, that's all the discussion that merits. We can move on.
I like how a lot of the reaction
was like, answering my questions.
Miitomo was still running. Like
I had to think for a second about what it was when I heard the news.
It's the same thing as like Mario Kart DS, like up until what was it?
2014.
Yeah, it was like, oh, that thing's still running. Oh, that's fun.
And people are still.
It was a great experience.
Bastards on it.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Did I say that out loud?
All right. So
I'm a snaker. Come at me.
Mario and Rabbids. Is anyone super passionate about that one?
I wish I played a lot more of it. I think it's a very good game. I just am in like the second world and did not progress further than that.
They're adding Donkey Kong now.
Like I intend to go back to it, and I think Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle is, from what I played, very good. But I would put it lower than I think literally every one of these other games.
I'd put it lower than at least 3 of them. I will say that, but I think it's a great game. It might be a little bit too long, and the overworld needs work.
Yeah,
there's an overworld.
If this was really Giant Bomb, then certainly we got a lot of juice out of Mario and Rabbids this year, so it'd probably be number 1. But I want to go back to that game, but in terms of 2017, it's just it got about where it deserved.
I mean, it's a fantastic game. Like it's amazing that that's what came out of that Ubisoft Mario,
the
Ubisoft Nintendo partnership, and the development team at Ubisoft did a hell of a job making an asinine concept into something really special.
Yeah, pulling off combos in that game feels so good.
I love jumping. Like it's just so smart in that they just took XCOM and put Mario things on top of it, and it works. Yeah. They gave Mario a gun, and it's not preposterous. Like
he's had a gun before. Come on.
Are you counting Yoshi's Safari?
Yes, I am.
Smash Brothers. He's had a gun in that.
Yeah, the sequel to this game could be
movie.
a lock for a top 5 of 2021 or something. Like, it seems like this lays the foundation for what could be a very wonderful series.
I would imagine that after that DLC is done, or probably even right now, the people who made Mario and Rabbids are doing another game.
Yeah.
In that world.
Zelda and Rabbids.
Yeah.
I'd be down for that.
Metroid and Rabbids.
What? Why did Dragon Quest VIII just disappear?
My bad. No, that was an actual accident. I was just pasting it up.
You know what? I would actually, out of all these games left over, I'd kill Samus Returns.
No.
There's no easy kill at this point.
I like Samus Returns, but I liked all the other games more.
So are we getting to the point where we just have to go and say stuff about games?
How about this?
So we need to kill 2. What are the 2 that everybody would kill?
How about we have a Google Doc here? Everyone write.
I haven't played Battle Chef Brigade, but
J, D, and then Zach. What 2 of these are you excited about? Because you're not in the Google Doc.
Oh, that I'm not excited about?
No, that you are excited about.
I am excited about. Well, I still like Dragon Quest VIII, and I like SteamWorld Dig 2, yo.
All right. Put the first letter of your name next to each of these 5. Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Metroid Samus Returns, SteamWorld Dig 2, Battle Chef Brigade, Dragon Quest VIII. This doesn't mean that whoever gets the most votes is going to necessarily win, but it's just to see where everyone's at.
So this is the ones we like.
Xenoblade wasn't like a 100-hour RPG, and I played more of it, and that would probably help it.
Okay, this doesn't work because one of my things got overwritten.
What were your 2? Yours were these 2, right?
I thought we were doing 3.
No, we're only doing.
But we need 3 games. Why are we just picking 2?
Oh, my bad.
But my question is: are we putting the initial down for the ones we like? Is it right?
Yeah.
Okay, because at first I thought someone may have said.
Yeah, Zach, pick a 3rd game.
Third game, Battle Chef Brigade, just because I like the concept so much.
All right. You just got to double click if you're going to put a 3rd one.
I'm sorry, Pyra.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I got to pick 2 more. Okay. I like this one, and I haven't played any of the other 3, but the one I most want to play is this one.
Okay. I will say this, as SteamWorld Dig 2 is my 2nd favorite game of the year, right after Zelda. I think SteamWorld Dig 2 should be in the top 5.
Yeah, it's got 4 votes. So
yeah, it's unanimous.
For a Metroid game this year, it's better than Metroid.
Or it's not unanimous. No, Donald, but Donald just said we should
hang on. Hey, I actually had a vote in there too. So
all right, yeah, SteamWorld Dig 2 is totally.
All right, so we can move that to the. We're moving Steam to the.
Well, before we go any further, does anyone else want to remove Zelda from this list? All right.
No. I mean, we could remove Mario from the list.
No.
First off, both of those are like way too. It's fine.
I'm just asking because I don't know.
Justin, your battle is to get it out of first place, not to get it off of the top 5.
I want to get it out of my memory.
Dragon Quest VIII only got recognition from Zach, even though I think I really like Dragon Quest VIII. Just by virtue of that, I think it should go.
These aren't necessarily votes. Like, Zach, tell me more about Dragon Quest VIII.
Dragon Quest VIII is, to my mind, a better RPG than Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I'm sorry, dude. It's simpler. Actually, there's not a billion tutorials.
Zach, you got me back. Let's go fight for Dragon Quest VIII. Let's go to battle. Because I agree. I think Dragon Quest VIII is a better game than Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Overworld. No. It has more manageable quests where you don't have to do 87 things in one quest and then go back to the guy who gave you the quest.
There's a better photo mode. Is there a photo mode in Xenoblade 2? I
you take pictures with the Switch, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dragon Quest VIII is a simpler game. It's I think the stories, it's good. I'm not far enough in Xenoblade Chronicles 2 to tell you how good the story is, but I like Jessica more than Pyra. She's a better mage. Just everything about Dragon Quest VIII is like it's the best streamlined RPG, and they made it really good for the 3DS, and there's no part of that game I dislike.
I think that's compelling. Justin, tell me about Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Well, first, I just want to say the Square Enix games don't really ever appeal to me, so that's one thing that just grinds against me. And like the traditional style of RPG never really appealed to me ever. Xenoblade Chronicles 2, I really like the how ridiculous everything really is. The characters are much better designed than probably any Xenoblade game. The story, I haven't completely finished it yet, so I don't know where that's going to go. The world is a ton of fun to explore, even more fun to explore than Zelda, because there's actual things to find, and you are rewarded for it in many ways, unlike Zelda. And there's just...
What you just said about the overworld and being rewarded also applies to Dragon Quest VIII.
Yeah.
All right, well, maybe it does. But, I mean, I just really love exploring the world in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and, like, you can often find weird things if you really go looking. They're somewhat hidden, and if you don't spend the time, you'll easily overlook them, even though they could be right next.
You'll overlook them because the map is garbage.
The map is a lot better than it originally was. I mean, I have no problems with the maps ever since the update. I mean, it did come in 2017.
You know what map is really good? The map in Dragon Quest VIII.
Yeah, it is.
It doesn't have to be this or that. I'm very much into the idea of Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and Dragon Quest VIII. I love Xenoblade Chronicles 2 a lot. And none of us on the podcast have beaten it. And I think it says something to the quality of the game that even though we haven't beaten it, like at least a few of us can easily go to bat for that game. And I'm someone who's usually a stickler for beating games.
I've never beaten. I haven't beaten Dragon Quest VIII, and I am going to bat for that game. So that says something about Dragon Quest VIII. God damn it!
Yeah, I really think going back to Xenoblade, I think there's so much to do in this game, and so many times like I'm playing it and I get like a new character added as like a blade, and like they're all interestingly designed from what I've seen, and then you want to learn more about them and see how they can fit into your team. And there's so many things to min-max in this game, Neal. Like, oh man, I'm like,
dude, there's a lot of stuff to min-max in Dragon Quest VIII.
But that older style RPG is
great. You can make weapons early on.
Both of them.
You can make weapons early on in Dragon Quest VIII that make you overpowered as hell.
They're all 4 great games. We should just kick off Mario and Zelda and have these 4 on it.
All right, I'm willing to pick up Zelda for Dragon Quest.
Justin, are you willing to sacrifice Mario to get Zelda off the list?
I want Zelda gone from.
I think our top 5 should be SteamWorld Dig 2, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Metroid Samus Returns, Battleship Brigade, Dragon Quest VIII. That's our top 5.
Can we get rid of Samus at this point?
I really like it, but I will admit that I probably liked it the most out of everybody. And
it was good.
Really I give it an 8.5. I really liked it a lot.
I liked it a lot. There are just things about it I didn't like.
I think I'd probably put Dragon Quest VIII above Samus Returns, and I think Battle Chef Brigade and Samus Returns are on similar footing for me.
Oh, interesting.
I'd put Samus Returns on this top 5 for sure. Like, I had a lot of. I'd put it as number 5. I will say out of. Well, actually, number 4, getting rid of Zelda. But I would definitely put it up there on the current list. It was a lot of fun. Maybe a little bit of an over-reliance on the counter mechanic, but other than that, I liked it a lot.
But I think that made battling more important, because I think that like gunplay in Metroid games and 2D Metroid games, not that it was ever a massive problem, but it's something that just becomes like a means to an end. Like it's just like, all right, I just gotta go over here and like shoot from afar. I'll get the ice beam or whatever, or the long beam, depending on what game you're playing. And like combat has never been that interesting in Metroid games. And I think that's what Samus Returns does very well, is that adding that counter. Yes, the counter becomes it's very over reliant on the counter early on. I think as the game goes on, it kind of evens out. Although I still don't think they totally figure it out, because by the end of the game, it's just more like, I don't know, your guns just go through everything. Why ever use the counter again?
Well, the counter is like the best way to beat the bosses. So
yeah, and I like that. Yeah, I mean it. But there's other ways to beat the bosses as well. You don't have to rely on the counter.
Well, I'm just saying it's probably the best way too, which is why I still lean toward that train of thought that it's over. I mean, you don't have to, but when it's the best way, you kind of want to.
I see passion for Xenoblade. I see a lot of passion. I see a lot of passion for Xenoblade and Dragon Quest. I think out of like the 4 we've discussed,
we just talked about how much we liked Metroid: Samus Returns.
Yeah. No. I'm saying there's a lot of passion there too. I don't see as much for Battle Chef Brigade that I've seen for the other 3 games. Is what I'm saying.
Well, I think not many of us have played it. That's the problem.
Yeah,
I would like to play it for sure.
I think it's tough in a world when only Donald and I have played Battle Chef Brigade, and I think that I would fight harder for some other games on this list.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
I think if we take, I fully accept that I'm going to get outvoted here. So,
like, I really like Battle Chef Brigade, and I think it made my top 5. I don't know. It's just. Talking about Dragon Quest VIII just rekindled so much love for it.
Oh,
it's such a good game.
So good.
So good.
The post-game stuff is so good too.
Yeah. I need to get there. Some decade I'll go back and finish Dragon Quest VIII.
But if we're gonna whittle this by 1 based on the energy of the room, Battle Chef Brigade to me seems like the next one.
To me, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 could be whittled down.
I'm kind of with Neal on that one. It's a little too. There's like too much. It's too much game. You know what I'm saying?
In a world of Mario and Zelda, you want to tell me about too much game?
I wouldn't say Mario is too much game. It's like 65-ish hours. Zelda is too much game. You can't even get to the end of that game.
I rolled credits on Zelda at 50 hours. I rolled credits
to the end of that game, Neal.
I rolled credits. I rolled credits in Zelda at 50 hours. I rolled credits in Mario at like 25.
Yeah.
I didn't know we're speedrunning these, so
I just played both games, and I reached a natural conclusion. You do realize that, Justin, when you play video games, you don't have to collect everything.
I want to see the whole game. When I play a game, now here's part of my logic.
500 Korok seeds.
When I play a game, sometimes I want to really know what this game is. So I'm like, let's see what this game is. And when I start to get the whole picture of the game, some areas start to crack and crumble before my eyes. And
so what you're doing...
I hid in the good part of the game, everybody. I'm not looking at the full picture, but I'm looking at the full picture here.
So what you're doing is you're playing a game until it stops being fun. Why don't when you
Justin,
see a game stop being fun? Why don't you stop playing it? There's nothing saying that you need to get every
I wanted to understand. I'm a big Zelda fan. I'm a big Zelda fan, and I wanted to know what this game was. And
I'm a big Zelda fan, and I got like 300 Korok seeds, and that was fine for me.
Well,
Justin, if you want a game you can see all of in a reasonable length of time, have you heard the good news about Battle Chef Brigade?
I totally beat Battle Chef Brigade in about I think I went 100% in it about 10 hours, and it maintained the pace. It really did. There were only 300 Korok seeds to collect. You use them in dishes to try to win in the Iron Chef competitions.
Okay, you know why I don't like Xenoblade 2? Because when you come to a collection point, you have to press A like 75 times before he actually does it.
And
he's blunt, but he's got a point.
Donald, how do you feel about Xenoblade?
I don't know, because I understand, I understand that I've got really into games this year that have random chance attached to them. Unfortunately, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 has random chance attached to it.
Yes, it does.
You know what's really crappy in Xenoblade 2? When you're just like, oh, I'm gonna see this new blade. Oh, it's another one of those lion things, and it's just gonna take 10 minutes before I can go get another one.
You can skip that cutscene.
Oh, you can?
Yeah, you can. It's very easy to.
I like it when I have a rare crystal and I get one of those crappy gray common blades that I already have a dozen of.
I love talking to Raritan about the whole like the common core and the rare core, and how he's just like, every legendary blade that I got was from a common one. Because I learned from talking to him that all that means is you have a higher percentage chance. So they basically took a game in which there are no microtransactions and had an entire mechanic based around loot boxes.
Yep.
Like, I guess it's cool that I don't have to pay for these crystals, although technically I did because I got the DLC.
Well, you don't get that many for it.
I did not get the DLC. I probably won't.
I think there's too much shit being thrown around about Xenoblade Chronicles 2 compared to the conversations we were having about this game a couple weeks ago, which weren't necessarily perfect conversations, but I am saying I think this is still probably the best Xenoblade game mechanically. I think the gem system actually works better than you guys are saying, and I think the designs of the legendary blades are so good that I actually have enjoyed the grind getting the ones that I've gotten.
They're so inconsistent.
What? I mean, I don't think I've gotten so many of them, and
they're not inconsistent. I have more than enough to actually build a full team after 20 hours.
I have a lot.
Oh no, I mean what they look like. Good God.
Well, do you have a lot of the rare ones, Zach, or do you just
I don't. Because I keep getting common ones.
You gotta give your character luck stats too. Before
of course.
You know what that sounds like? That sounds like collecting Korok seeds. That's what
the difference is. I don't have to. It's not like it's over here. Maybe. Good luck, and we're not going to narrow it down for you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you just want everything handed to you on a silver platter? Not like exploring.
Okay, once you beat the game and you're just going back, it should just be like there's some over here, kind of like in Mario Odyssey, where you go back after you beat the game, and it's like, they're over here, and nobody whined then.
Neal, you know what I like about the Korok seeds?
What?
They're all in a specific location. They're not random chance where you find them on the map. They're all accessible right away.
Well, what's random chance on the map?
I'm gonna bring this in.
No. The blades are random chance.
They have 900 Korok seeds, so it's easy to upgrade your slots, not so you can collect them all. This goes back. Let's bring this back to Masahiro Sakurai. That's where we're going with this. When in the reveal of Amiibo at the E3 2014, Justin, you were in the room with me.
I think I was sitting next to you.
when someone asked Sakurai about you want to collect all the Amiibo, and Sakurai just stared at him dumbfounded, and through a translator was just like, and that's exactly, just get what you don't need to get everything. They had all the different Amiibos, so you could pick one that would be yours, and instead we all had to ruin it by getting 8 million of them.
It wasn't just me.
So I guess Metroid is the most not hated game out of these four.
That's actually true.
we all kind of. I mean, we weren't as passionate about our hatred for. Yeah. I think Metroid should be on the list.
Whoa.
That's how we go. That's a big font there.
All right, I'm ready to kick Mario and Zelda out. Just put these three in, call it a day. Don't even rank them.
I might do that if we can get rid of Zelda.
I get rid of Zelda. I'm ready to. Donald, how much of Zelda did you play again?
I've seen about 80 shrines. I've gotten about 9.
Okay.
Although I did complete my main objective with that game, which was getting the proper outfit from Gerudo Village.
Oh yeah.
Zach, did you beat Zelda?
Hell yeah.
Nice. I beat Zelda, and Neal beat Zelda.
I love Zelda.
I got a bunch of the DLC costumes. It was great.
Okay.
You know which costume I did not get? Funnily enough, the Xenoblade costume.
Because you can only get that by you need to get some crystals, and then you need.
Now with Zelda, they don't even give you enough inventory space for all the costumes. How terrible is that?
I patch that in later.
I mean, they haven't. I don't know if they ever.
Maybe you have to collect a bunch of Korok seeds to get another page for your costumes.
That would actually be a worthwhile reward.
If Zelda is
better than a
top 5, I'm never going to be on this podcast again. That's where I'm at with this.
I'm ready to put Battle Chef Brigade at the number 5 slot and kick both of the JRPGs out.
Damn, son.
I'm
the
okay
fact that
with
I'm backing the JRPG.
There's been so much
something.
hostility that I think has gone on in like the Xenoblade 2 Dragon Quest 8 war that originally I was on the team.
To be fair, no one has knocked Dragon Quest 8. Everybody
Yeah,
just
Dragon Quest 8
because it's one of the best JRPGs of all time.
I just don't like Square Enix games. I'm just gonna come out with it. I have never enjoyed them. Whenever I play them, I'm just miserable.
You don't like Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, I don't. I love Skyrim.
Xenoblade Chronicles has the superior Irish accents. That's
Joe Munger in the chat just said, "Y'all are complete degenerates," and I can't really disagree.
All right, here's an argument to kick Xenoblade 2 off the list. As much as I can praise it, none of us beat it. Here's my argument against Dragon Quest 8.
It came out in December.
Here's my argument. I'm saying none of us beat it in like the month, and fine.
It's been a month and a half. Like that really isn't all. It's unfortunate. Maybe Nintendo should not release Xenoblade games in December.
It beat Zelda until the day before Odyssey came out.
My argument against Dragon Quest 8. We were talking about how it's like totally counting as a 2017 game. I think it's less of a 2017 game than these other two, and I think it doesn't count a lot, but it does count a little bit.
It
was delayed out of 2016 too, so it didn't even feel like a 2017 game at the time it came out.
I would much prefer Samus Returns go instead of Dragon Quest 8.
Yeah, but it almost seems like the path of the least resistance at this point.
We don't need SeaWorld, Dig, and Metroid on that list.
I disagree.
Shut your mouth. Yo, it's Zach. Screw it. Dragon Quest 8, kill it. You're trying to kill my children.
Let's knock these out.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do this list thing again next year. I thought it was a good idea at the time. But all we've done is shit on video games for 45 minutes, and I think I'm going to go back to regular top 5.
What did you expect? What was your vision of this, Alex?
I thought it was going to be a celebration of video games.
We're not even done yet. Alex, we're not even done yet once we get the top 5.
You knew the job was dangerous when you took it, Alex. I'm sorry. This is on you.
So, okay, are we going to do... it's kind of like the samurai. They slice the swords at each other, and they both like are cut in half. Is that what we're doing with Xenoblade and Dragon Quest?
Oh God!
Xenoblade. It's a Xenoblade.
Dragon Quest.
Battle Chef Brigade. Let's put it on the list.
Dragon Quest had at least 8 times to get it.
No one has shadowed on Battle Chef Brigade.
No, dude, let's get real. Xenoblade's that shit started with Xenogears. That dude's been trying to make these games for 20 years.
Right. No, what are you talking about?
There's Xenoblade. Let's see, Xenogears, 3 chapters of Xenosaga, Xenoblade X, which is the one they actually got right, and then Xenoblade 2.
Wow.
And who can forget Disaster Day of Crisis?
Donald's living on a whole different planet.
Cut Xenoblade, cut Dragon Quest, right?
Yes. I will use it as an opportunity. At the end of February, we're having a Xenoblade week on Nintendo Report. Well, where you will hear people not shit all over the game and actually celebrate it.
I'm celebrating Xenoblade, everybody.
You're on an island right now, my friend.
I'll be on that
island. Titan 40% by myself, and it's my Titan, and his name is Gramps.
There's 2 people excited for each game, but I'm saying like there's decent arguments to cut both Xenoblade and Dragon Quest, and Battle Chef Brigade has gotten basically nothing but love the whole time. And
Battle Chef Brigade is just a game of love. It really
can I move it to the 5th? Yes.
For the people who have not played Battle Chef Brigade, I think it was my number 4 or number 5 game. Like it's incredible. It's kind of unassuming in its presentation. Well, I mean, the presentation's very nice. It's like an anime you can control, but it's unassuming in its concept, but everything works together so very well.
I'd love to come over and play the game with you, Neal, right after I'm forced to play Vroom.
Okay, that works. Yeah, we didn't.
So Justin owes us a game of Vroom, and Neal owes us a Donkey Kong Historia.
Yeah. We could do that all in one day.
The top 5 games of the year so far, unranked. All ranked, we'll see. Mario Odyssey, Zelda Breath of the Wild, SteamWorld Dig 2, Metroid Samus Returns, and Battle Chef Brigade.
I'm fine.
If you swap Zelda and Mario, and then Battle Chef Brigade and Samus, you got it.
Okay, yeah. What Zach said.
Wait,
I think
Zelda at number 5 for sure.
As much as I would love to think that we could get away with swapping Zelda and Battle Chef Brigade and calling it a day,
no.
I would actually. No, I'd put Zelda where Battle Chef Brigade is, and just because I haven't played Battle Chef Brigade to know, I put that right behind.
I don't care the specifics of where they wind up, but I believe that Dig 2 should be above Samus Returns.
Same.
I do agree with that. I don't know if I put.
I don't know who's doing this, but I don't disagree. I
put the list in an order based on the love I've found so far in the podcast. I put SteamWorld Dig 2 at number 1, a game I have not played. Super Mario Odyssey at number 2 and Zelda at number 3. My reasoning for that is, as from everything I've heard on this podcast and then like all the games this year, granted I'm biased because I prefer Mario, but I've heard a lot more shitting on Zelda than I've heard on Mario. Metroid at 4, Battle Chef Brigade at 5 is the one that kind of squeaked in there.
I think my one thing, I really don't have too much to shit on Mario about to really take it down a peg to combat Justin's crusade against Breath of the Wild. Like Mario is a totally fun game, but I think what kind of separates Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey for me, and why Breath of the Wild is my personal game of the year, is that Mario Odyssey does the 3D Mario thing real well. I think that Zelda Breath of the Wild is a complete reinvention and revolution in Zelda video games.
I'm right there with you, and I will say that I have not had any more fun this year doing nothing at all.
Yeah,
what's over there? Oh my God, those birds are flying in.
Here's where I'm at with Zelda.
There's a bear.
Yeah. Oh man, dude, the bears are great.
Bear's awesome.
But so for me with Zelda, I reviewed it back when the Switch came out. Played a ton of it. I think when my Switch died and I lost my Zelda save file, I was about 80 or 90 hours in. It's been hard. I mean, it's been hard to find the time, because when I have sat down with starting my replay of Zelda so that way I can play that DLC sometime in 2019, I will just sit down with it and just lose an entire night. Like, I was just like, oh, you know what? I'll try to get off the plateau. And then 7 hours later, I'm 3 shrines deep off the plateau, just running around, being like, I've only got 3 hearts. Let's go try to fight some guardians. This is going to be a good time. Maybe I can take on a Lionel. And that was a bad idea.
You know what? Here's another thing we should consider, Neal. Your wife, who does not play video games, loved and beat Breath of the Wild.
She got all 120 shrines.
Nuts.
Yeah, and started the DLC that I sadly can't access yet because my save file is about 20 hours in, and I see, my thing is my least favorite part of that game is the Divine Beasts. So it's very I could just go into there and be like, well, I want to get to the DLC. I'll just go do the Divine Beasts, but that's my least favorite part of the game. So I did in my second playthrough, I went left, I went west instead of east like I did the first time, and it feels like a completely different game going about it. And that's the versatility of that game, is that there's so many different ways to attack everything. And I know, I've heard complaints
about Odyssey,
but you can't, because Odyssey's a linear story. Because Odyssey will put you into a new area, and you are capped off at how much you can do in that. I don't even mean to say cap there. But you go into a new area, you go into New Donk City. I love New Donk City. I wanted to do everything I could in New Donk City. There was a point where I couldn't do anything else in New Donk City, despite the fact that I have a checklist that still has another 40 things I can eventually do in New Donk City.
Right.
You have to get to the end of that game and unlock the post game before you can fully go through an area. In Zelda, you can roam around that game and see something new for 100 hours before you have to beat that game. For Mario Odyssey,
I think the game keeps regenerating a lot of the content over and over again.
Justin, the thing I'm going to ask you to do is this whole time I've heard a lot of this game sucks, this game sucks, this game sucks. Right now, You're trying to put. I mean, Mario I do want to Odyssey. You're trying to put Mario.
Real quick, I do want to say something about Zelda. I don't hate everything about Zelda. I just think so much of this stuff is completely overblown and overhyped compared to what the content you actually do in the game is. And compared to Mario Odyssey, I felt like the entire time I played Mario Odyssey, I was always doing something fun and exciting. But in Zelda, there was so much wandering and nothing.
But that's so fine. Though. Even if I go back and you didn't watch Raritan's video about open spaces and open world games, because it is really important. Because if you just have everything on top of each other, then it doesn't feel special. Like exploration is fun. Getting lost in a world is fun. You don't need to have everything be hand-holdy and guidey.
No, I'm not saying
you just need to explore.
Yeah, I'm not saying
it's beautiful. The music, I've heard people shit on the music. They're fucking crazy.
I don't like the music in the game either because it feels like just a couple songs on long loops.
But it's understated, and it tells you about different things in the environment, about what's happening, what enemies are near you. Everything coalesces so well in Breath of the Wild.
And that Hyrule Castle theme.
Ugh. The Hyrule Castle theme. The Hyrule Castle theme is the best music I've ever heard in a Zelda game.
Now, in Odyssey, like I said, I felt like I was always doing something fun the entire time. There's no downtime. And I do want to say, your point on the exploration, I do like exploration in games. Like in Xenoblade, I love exploring because I think I'm finding different things. In Zelda, I felt like I kept finding the same things. Yeah. Like when it came to the monsters, there weren't that many different monsters. Like I'm not talking about like the smaller ones. When it came to like the larger, like the big bad guys. Yeah, it was like the same three on repeat everywhere.
I will agree.
But they all have
enemy types.
So, and it made me like feel like I wasn't really finding much when I explored. Like in Xenoblade, I might find like a cave that leads to this whole like huge area that I want to see what's at the end of it. And like in Zelda, I can't even think of any caves that even existed or anything like that. Like it just felt like a bunch of mountains.
Well, that's what the shrines are.
Well, the shrines are not that visually different, and without counting the DLC, 40 of the 80 are either tests of strength or walkthroughs. Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, you got here, great. So I think
to be fair with the blessings, the blessings are generally preceded by pretty solid shrine quests.
Yeah, there are some good ones. Yeah. I will say there are some good ones. Some
of
them
stuff is real fun.
I think one of the highlights of Zelda for me was Eventide Island. I like that a whole lot.
That's really cool.
There's some positive things I have to say about Zelda, but I just think as a whole, Mario Odyssey was a better game. It had more. It was just like nonstop fun the entire time without any downtime. And I just think Zelda. I don't think it's a completely terrible game. I'd probably give it a 7.5 or an 8 out of 10, somewhere in that range.
That's about what I give Mario.
Yeah. So there's some things I do like about the game. I just think it wasn't refined enough, and they didn't put the traditional Zelda dungeons in there. The weather slowed down any sense of exploration to a point where I'd walk away from the game as I'm climbing halfway up a mountain, come back in 15 minutes so I can finish climbing it. There weren't enough shrines that actually had enough puzzles, in my opinion, and though there were some very high points to getting some of those, it just didn't hit on all of them for me. So
Justin, I need you to do something. Before anyone else talks, I need this to happen right now. I need to hear a good pitch for Mario Odyssey beyond I liked it or I liked it compared to Zelda. Or I need to say a good pitch for Mario that stands on its own. I don't want something hated out of second place or hated into second place. I just need to hear a pitch of Mario Odyssey, one of the biggest games of the year that we haven't really talked about yet. Justin, you seem the most qualified to do this. I
think Mario Odyssey is full of nonstop fun, glee, excitement, great movement in the 3D space. Some platforming skill can be used. The whole hat mechanic is incredible, and like the tricks you can do with Cappy are so much fun. The copy or the stealing mechanic adds some unique gameplay twists to the Mario formula that we haven't. I mean, you kind of got that with the suits, but there's like a lot more of that. And it was like the first time in the 3D games that it really focused on that more. I mean, there's some of that type of stuff in Galaxy a little bit, but it was somewhat limited. So yeah, I thought the game was enjoyable start to finish in that final Final Moon was a ton of fun too, where that would put really your platforming skills to the test in a way that a lot of Mario games do now. But it kind of added all that cap stuff to it, which was very interesting.
God, that last one is like the Super Meat Boy of Mario games too.
Yeah, I think so. And I would add to that I think Mario Odyssey is probably the most I don't want to say aggressive, but I would say the most aggressively that they re-examined what a Mario game is in a long time, which is a little ironic to say, because a lot of that game just feels like a perfection in many ways of a lot of the concepts laid out in Super Mario 64. And I know that might come across as partially controversial, because I can think of one person who really, really loves Super Mario 64 in this conversation, but I do think that it is incredible refinement. But the parts of the game that I really identify with aren't the game. And, well, it is the game. I think that the New Donk City is crazy. I think
New Donk City is a highlight. And some of my problems with the game is that New Donk City's really cool, and some of those other places are a little bit more forgettable. Like, I wish more of those worlds were like New Donk City.
The setting, what they do to some of the characters in that game, and the story are shockingly memorable to me in Super Mario Odyssey. Namely the fact that they bring out a Dark Souls boss at the 70% mark for no good reason. And like, some people think it's one of the weaker bosses. I think it's maybe my favorite in the game. I think the finale is crazy.
I think
the dragon boss.
From the dragon boss to the end of the game is incredible.
Yeah, and I think
like Bowser's Kingdom is sublime. Like, that's probably one of my after New Donk, that's one of my favorite kingdoms in the game.
And the post-game dungeon. I mean, good stuff.
Like the boss rush, or
no, the kingdom that you get into.
Okay, yeah. I'm not wild about that boss rush. But,
no, me neither. I haven't finished it.
But yeah, no, the post-game kingdom is really, really neat. I love just kind of roaming around and exploring there. My beef with Mario is that I think some of, much like how, Justin, you probably hate some of the Korok seed stuff, I think some of those moons are kind of bad and stupid.
Like the jumping rope.
So the one
they don't take as much time as some of the Zelda stuff.
So when I first started playing the game, I was very much like wanting to 100% every area and then move on, which I learned by the time I got to New Donk and got frustrated that I couldn't do everything in that city right then. I learned that was the wrong way to play that game. But when I was in the what is it? The Wooded Kingdom is the name of the place where there's like you can go underneath to the underground area.
Yeah, I believe.
Yeah, so in the Wooded Kingdom, I was looking for one of my final moons there, and I had to look for a little coin son of a bitch in there. And I threw my hat on him, and I have a video recording to prove it. For more than 30 seconds, I had to shoot coins at a plant.
That is one of the hardest moons in the game to figure out.
That is one of the dumbest moons I've seen in that game, because like all it is just shoot coins at the plant. 30 seconds plus. Like, and that there are other moons like that, but that was the most egregious, memorable example, because I thought at the end of it to hit the video capture, and then looked at it, I was like, oh no, I'm really just doing that for 30 straight seconds in order to get this moon, and there was nothing else to this.
Donald, what do you think of all of this Zelda and Mario business?
If we're going straight by my opinion, then there's things that I've seen in Breath of the Wild that sure they look really fun, like shield surfing. Just getting, like, I had to get off the plateau twice because I made the mistake of changing platforms for that game halfway through. And let me tell you, getting off the plateau is probably more annoying than any of the worlds in Mario Odyssey.
How?
Well,
it took me about like the second time, like on playing it on Switch, I got so frustrated with trying to get some of the stuff to make the suits that I needed to survive in the colder areas of the plateau that I basically put the game down for 3.5 months.
But you could just like eat some peppers and run.
That's what I did.
In Mario, you can just mainline the game, and then you don't have to.
I mean, Mario thing, it's nonstop fun. That's
and I had a grin on my, like, I was grinning from ear to ear most, like, the entire time I was playing Battle Chef Brigade. I was gritting my teeth through most of Zelda, and I damn near burst into tears of joy playing New Donk City.
I think there's something to be said about. I mean, this doesn't necessarily represent anyone, and we'll keep talking about this a little bit. But I do think it's worth saying that Donald, you've had this game for most of the year, if not like since it came out, Zelda Breath of the Wild. And from what I've seen talking to you on this podcast, and I say this as someone who likes Zelda Breath of the Wild a lot, I played 50 hours of it. I think you've seen nothing but resistance and unpleasantness from Zelda, like, since you started playing, which is not a case for it to get removed from this list or moved or staying or below Mario or something. But my impression of you, Donald, is that you aren't necessarily a big Zelda fan.
No, not it's not like I have the complete opposite problem of Justin in that I want to see these great moments, but it's it's the trying to have somebody basically guide me through with the alternate methods, like running with the peppers, that keep me away from the, like I said, I had no urge to play Zelda for like I said 3.5 months between when I played the Switch version, when I started the file in the Switch version, and when I went back to it just before Christmas.
Yeah.
To get ready for the show.
I think that's valid. And Zach, and the reason why I'm focusing on Donald and Zach right now is because as valid as some of your opinions have been, I think there's at least a double-digit percentage of Neal and Justin hating the other one into the place below them. So I'm curious about what you say, Zach. Like Mario and Zelda, just like talk to me about both of them.
So I love both games, obviously. I like Zelda for the reason I said. I'm kind of a guy who likes to go outside and wander around and just look at stuff, and there's a bird. So I really like that part of Zelda. I liked that stuff more than I liked the parts that were video gamey, like the dungeons.
I agree with that.
Or even some of the shrines, like the tests of strength. I do agree there are too many feats of strength. But like there's just so much discovery, like, you know, that island, what's that island called?
Eventide.
Eventide Island is so great. You have to think about what you're doing, like every step of what you're doing, you have to think about it, you have to think it through. And, you know, you're just wandering around the world, and oh my God, there's a right off the part of the land in the southeast where you get to Eventide Island, there's a friggin' impact crater down in the ocean, and that's so fucking cool. And there's evidence of geology in, you know, on Mount Doom. It's not called Mount Doom, is it?
Death Mountain.
Death Mountain, sorry. And, you know, there's just all these different environments, and they have different weather patterns, and there's environment-specific animals, like there's moose in the snowy areas. And those, you know, the first time I saw one of those big dragons fly through the sky, I was amazed. That was so cool.
I think, Justin, you were over my house when I was just like, oh, man, like, here's Breath of the Wild. I'm like, that's a dragon.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I'm sorry, I need to go try to get to this dragon. And, like, just the beautiful music that plays whenever the dragon's nearby, too. And, like, because when I was playing the game, I had no idea what to do with the dragons. So there was about a good half an hour where I was trying to ride the dragon. And
I did that too.
Didn't work. But, like, that was a lot of fun. It's a half an hour spent trying to ride this dragon, in which I progressed nowhere in the game, and I had a blast.
And there's a part early on for me. I didn't know about the Rudo suit yet, or Rito suit, and I was trying to get up this mountain, right? This snowy mountain that said, you know, you can't go up this mountain. You don't have the right equipment. I was like, fuck that. I eat a bunch of peppers, and I kept going, and my hearts were actually going down because it was too cold for even the peppers. But when I got to the top of that mountain, I saw a dragon that had collapsed on the mountaintop full of corruption, and I had to warp out of there before I died. But I just found that organically. That's so friggin' cool.
Yeah, I mean, that dragon is one of the highlights of the game, along with Eventide Island, in my opinion. But I just feel like those moments didn't justify the size of the map because there weren't enough of them.
Oh, but that's what's so beautiful about it. That, like, when you go out in the real world, there's not stuff around every corner. You gotta.
Yeah, but this is a video game, and I want to keep having that discovery.
That's the thing. It's like a new genre. I just love it so much. It's about the exploration. It's not about the stupid dungeons or the
number of things to collect.
I want to keep doing
the shrines.
Environmental puzzles, and I mean, to me, Zelda is like
that's fine, but go play Skyward Sword or
I will
Majora's Mask or whatever. But it's just such a new experience. I've never had this experience with a Zelda game, a video game before, and it was I love it to death.
So I appreciate both of your arguments, Zach and Donald. I think there's a lot of positivity that can be said about both these games, and I'm not going to let this go into circles. I am leading towards a conclusion that is not necessarily Mario or Zelda. There's something to be said about the excellence of both of these games. There's a reason why so many people loved both of them. I think Cappy is one of the best mechanics that has ever been in a platforming video game. I also think Cappy's amazing.
I want to be fair here, and I do have some criticisms about Mario Odyssey as well.
All right.
I would not give it a 10 out of 10.
That's what I'm going to get to that in a way that I think addresses your feelings on both of them. I think the open world parts of Breath of the Wild, in spite of the weapon degradation, in spite of some of the item juggling, in spite of the Korok seeds, in spite of the dungeons, whatever, I think the best parts of that game are a revolution in open world design. And I say that as someone who would call open world games one of, if not his favorite genres. I also think that both of these games suffer from a very similar problem, and that they have a bloat of content that there's not enough quality to justify the quantity. I think there's too many frivolous moons in Mario Odyssey. I think Breath of the Wild so a lot of people got 120 shrines. Fine, you don't need the 900 Korok seeds. How else are they going to fill up the map? I know, but I also feel like there's a bloat of content that I feel addresses Justin's criticisms, and I also feel there's a bloat of content in Mario Odyssey of not good enough content that validates Neal's criticisms. I also think that the feelings on both of these games and their general reception, and I think of at least all of us to some extent, is that these games are very imperfect masterpieces. Sure. If we voted right now, I think Mario would win based on Donald's vote, but I don't think that's the right way to go. I think the right way to go is Zelda Breath of the Wild, because I think I've heard stronger arguments for Zelda Breath of the Wild being a better game. What I will say is that, Justin, just to perhaps to appease your sort of
you don't have to appease me. I'm gonna have to go through the rest of my life here in about.
No. Just what if we put SteamWorld Dig 2 at the top and put Breath of the Wild at number 2, Mario at number 3.
Let me be honest here. I don't think anybody else, except maybe me, and maybe Donald, I don't know for sure, on this podcast, thinks that SteamWorld Dig 2 should be above some of these games. And correct me if I'm wrong. So I'm willing to concede if Breath of the Wild is the true winner. And I don't think we should just place, if people actually think that one of those games is better than SteamWorld Dig 2, I don't think we should just place that above if the general consensus is that Zelda or Mario is better than that game.
I mean, it's just a matter of degrees. It's almost like, I mean, they're basically tied games.
Yeah, I honestly think it's the way you look at the flaws of each game that determine which one you prefer.
Yeah,
I think the games are designed so remarkably similarly in their philosophy of being like a more open space that this back and forth is probably frustrating to some listeners, but also totally valid considering how similar the design philosophy is for both of these games. Like the discourse makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, but so basically, I'm asking the rest of you guys: would you prefer Mario or Zelda over SteamWorld Dig 2? That's
yes.
All right. I think you're right. SteamWorld Dig 2 is the easy way out.
Hello?
Yes?
Hello.
Okay. I was trying to say something. I don't know if you guys could hear me or
I didn't hear that.
I think you were
kept on talking over me.
You were on mute, I think.
I wasn't, but
okay. Well, maybe there was a connection problem. Neal, what were you saying?
So one of the things that separates Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild to me, is like Alex, what you were saying about how they both have a bloat of content. I think that Mario's bloat of content is front and center. I think that Zelda's bloat of content is in the background. Like, you can play through that game, you can think you see all of the map, and you still missed 500 Korok seeds, or you still missed 15, 20 shrines. And you can finish that game, you can beat Ganon, and that's fine. In Mario Odyssey, it basically keeps on telling you, like, oh, there's more things to do here. You're not done yet. Come back. And like and I think a lot of the post game stuff in Mario is very good, but I've resigned myself that I'm never going to 100% that game because I think there's a number of those moons, like the ones you just have to buy at a store. Like, what the hell? But I think there's a number of those moons that like just aren't appealing for me to do. But I feel like me doing that is more of a slight on Mario Odyssey than me not collecting all 900 Korok seeds.
Because you literally get spoilers.
You get a piece of poop, a gold poop.
Yeah.
I think the bloat affects both of those games, or at least they affected both of the games equally for me. So in Mario Odyssey, the bloat didn't affect me at all until after I beat the game, when all of the bloat affected me, and I think the quality of the game was diluted as a result. I think in the case of Breath of the Wild, I beat the game, I played a little more, and then I decided I had had enough. The dragon's amazing. The first time I fought a Lionel was amazing. The going out on a map and getting killed way too early, I think that stuff's amazing. I also think Mario Odyssey is a very touching game, and I think we forget how much love there's given to the Mario series between the Return of Pauline, between the way that game ends and the weird camaraderie between Mario and Bowser.
That ending is phenomenal.
I think that, and then the way they play with Mario, the way they change the art style up, and which I do think works to its credit, and I like that game a lot. I like Zelda a lot too. I think they're both flawed in the same way, and I don't mean to go in circles the same way we've been going in circles all along. But actually, Donald, you know what? I feel like you're one of the more removed people from this. Have you heard more compelling stuff about Zelda or Mario so far?
I've been hearing compelling stuff about Zelda all year, honestly.
Yeah.
And I know where you guys are coming from with like these big highlights. It's just for whatever reason, I just can't get myself to actually go through and do the 20, 30 to 200 hours of legwork that are necessary to actually see everything in Zelda. I wonder if, like, when they announced that like the Champions Path was going to track back 200 hours of gameplay, it's like, oh god, I got enough to play this year. I don't need, like, and I've never really clicked with 3D Zelda since Ocarina anyway. Like, I think they got open, for my money, the best open world Zelda game is still Link Between Worlds.
I do want to say something about the DLC for Zelda. I do think that's some of the best content in the game, both DLC packs.
Okay, that's a start. All right, how our two choices are: we put Zelda in first place, or we vote in, which is going to result in Mario getting voted in. Like, if we do which game people prefer out of the panel, Mario would win on sheer numbers alone. Zelda, I've been hearing strong cases for, and I've heard strong cases for Mario too. I guess the reason why I'm not sort of positing that is because I'm one of the strong cases for Mario, and I don't want to necessarily give myself too much bias. So I guess
vote too. I mean, yeah, we can't discount your feelings towards a game. You're also on this panel.
Yeah, but I mean, how much is the numbers worth?
Yeah, because we could very easily just bring in 2 more people and that are pro Zelda. Like we probably have 2 of the most apathetic towards Zelda staffers on this show.
Yeah, and I understand that completely.
Yeah.
Well, this show is this 5 people. Like the rest of the staff is relevant on Nintendo World Report, but this is the 5 people that represent Nintendo News Report.
Right. True.
Maybe it might make more sense to. I don't mean to say this, but if we did the vote, then Mario would make more sense out of these 5 people.
I mean,
and honestly, Zelda and Mario's reasonings have been going in circles because the games are so close in quality, and there are some outliers who think they're not that close. But I think between the 5 of us, it's just creating a cycle that's almost proving on sheer average alone that the games are remarkably close in quality.
I think back to when people have made supporting arguments for Mario and nothing came close as passionate as Zach just losing his fucking mind about exploring the woods.
Like, yeah, but I also understand that is like me.
But I'm also there with you.
Oh, okay.
I'm with you in the woods getting lost.
Okay.
The Lost Woods, as you were. I'm surprised there wasn't anything like that. Well, I guess no, there were the Lost Woods. Yeah.
So I wasn't really messing around with that very long. I got there, I figured it out, and it was done rather quick. That wasn't really a highlight for me, like some of the other things you mentioned earlier. Which
I thought the music was really cool.
No, yeah, I mean, there's certain parts of the game that have good music. I just feel like a majority of the game. Yeah,
I like the Deku Tree.
Yeah.
All right.
I will say that Hetsu is villain of the year.
Yeah,
he's such a son of a bitch.
Who has the chat open right now?
I do.
I'm looking at it a little.
All right. How many people are watching? I'm just curious.
9.
We're at 9.
9? We deserve that.
Someone said I will rate the show on iTunes if Zelda's number 1. Just saying. I like you, Daniel Bell.
That's a
strong feelings.
And Dale Alling said, "Did RFN give it to Zelda? I could live with Mario if the big dogs gave it to Zelda."
Oh, that hurts.
They didn't do a ranked top 5 for the record, though. They did have 3 of the 4 people on the show give it to Zelda.
Oh,
Zelda did more of an evolution than Mario.
So
Zelda also had a motorcycle.
Donald, is more of the energy very good. Is more of the energy going towards Zelda than Mario right now, Donald, in the chat, in your estimation?
Based on what I'm seeing, they want Zelda. The chat
it is alarmingly
Zelda.
All right, I'm surprised at how alarmingly pro Zelda this chat is.
I'm surprised.
Getting my alternate accounts.
Here's what I'm gonna. All right, I'm gonna. Here's the solution. Zelda's number 1 because Zach had the most compelling argument out of any of them here. The chat I have made a part of this show from the very beginning.
That's true, yeah.
And I almost feel like you could spirit bomb that into 1 more vote. Or if not 2 to put Zelda at number 1.
We just had 3 people who got to this part of the show and just typed Zelda. 4 people have typed Zelda.
All right, I got to do one more plea here. Super Mario Odyssey is a beautiful celebration.
Odyssey.
30 years of Super Mario Brother history.
So is Zelda. Well, not a Mario Brothers history.
I don't know what history you're reading from. But Super Mario Odyssey has all of that history, those costumes, the charm, the
So does Zelda.
I really didn't see it. I love Mario.
I really didn't see it. I
haven't said anything about Mario.
No, but Zelda literally has costumes. It's DLC, sure, but Zelda has costumes.
I'm saying the historic costume.
It's modeled. There are historic costumes in Zelda. It's in DLC, but you can get the Tingle outfit, Majora's Mask. No, it's not even Amiibo content. It's DLC. Yeah, the Dark Armor is also a throwback, and with Zelda. With Breath of the Wild, it's also a celebration of the original Zelda in that the design owes a lot more to that than it does the other 3D Zeldas.
You know,
You're totally right with Mario as well. That's a celebration of the series.
I will say, and this might make more sense, that I didn't enjoy the original Zelda as much as most people did either. So maybe
neither did I.
Honestly, neither did I.
Yeah. So I think it's a cool game, but it's something that I don't really have an urge to play more. Like, actually, on the NES Classic, I wound up playing through like half of it. It's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah, that's basically where I'm at with it. But yeah, I don't know if there's a correlation between my like average liking of the original Zelda and basically the same with Breath of the Wild. And I know I like I said, I know I shit on the game a lot because I feel like I'm alone on this island, and I'm like,
feel unrepresented, and I feel that's a valid
thing to feel. Yeah, so that's probably where a lot of it comes from. I'm like, where's everyone else? Where's the other people with me here? I'm on even tide by myself, guys.
A lot of video game hate. I feel like it's easy to say, screw you for hating, but I feel like a lot of video game hate does come from people who do feel unrepresented in their feeling of a game. Which is,
I mean, let me just say what I wanted to say real quick.
Did we just turn Justin into a supervillain?
Hold on, Mario. You know,
he's only been on the show like 4 months.
Mario 64 is and probably remains, weirdly enough, my favorite 3D Mario game.
Same here.
But Mario Galaxy is the only Mario 3D Mario that's even come close to me. It's a brilliant game.
Yeah, this is not when we determine the best Mario 3D
Mario.
That can be its own podcast, but that never will be.
That can be before the next quarterly earnings instead of the most recent one.
Congratulations. All right, here's I think Zelda won, but Justin, I do feel our arguments have been strong enough to put Mario in second place, and I
agree with that.
I want to put my foot down a little bit and not let anyone argue it down from there.
I said I agree.
No, I'm saying
I think the rest of the list is pretty good.
SteamWorld Dig 2.
I think Dig 2 needs to be above Samus Returns. That's my kind of, and other than that, like, I mean, Donald, if we want to try to get Battle Chef Brigade at 3, you have my axe.
I think I think the love for Samus Returns from you guys was strong. I do agree that SteamWorld Dig 2 needs to be above it, but I can live with Metroid 4 Battle Chef 5.
All right.
I do think
I think we barely talked about Dig 2. Dig 2 is awesome. Just go play it.
It's so great, and it's so much better than the original.
The
original's
like
good.
Years beyond the first one. The original's coming out on Switch February 1st.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I will not be getting it.
There was we had an exclusive news reveal on it on the website that you write for.
Yeah, I do think SteamWorld Dig 2 is the better game. I just think but Dig 2 is better.
I personally feel that, insert Gersman quote here, but given SteamWorld Dig 2 is a fine video game and definitely deserving of a podium spot. It's just it wasn't going to beat Mario or Zelda just based on sheer
congratulations to Thunderful. The company that's
they're still separate. They're just
still separate.
It's weird.
What?
Because Image and Form is still a company. Zoink is still a company. They're just like under one roof now. Like there's
I swear I saw merge. Okay.
But like I think they've been in the same office space for years.
Oh.
Okay.
I think it's just like a little more official. That's what Thunderful is. Like, but Image and Form is still like a separate label. Like I guess it might be akin to like how Nintendo has Retro Studios. Thunderful has Image and Form.
Okay.
So, the Nintendo News Report, Games of the Year. Last chance to say anything different.
Federation Force should be up there, too.
All right.
Dude, Federation Force is a great game. Let's go talk about that for another 3 hours.
I'm so glad I have a permanent copy of that now.
All right.
Hell yeah.
It's weird that 1-2 Switch didn't come up. That's weird.
I was going to say something in the beginning, but it just was not worth the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to go pretend to shave.
Honestly, though, that wizard battle might be the best PAX time I've had in a while.
Yeah.
All right, here's our number 5. Our game of the year, Nintendo News Report game of the year. If you're watching the video, I left a message for everyone who's watching this. Number 5, Battle Chef Brigade. Number 4, Metroid Samus Returns. Number 3, SteamWorld Dig 2, a game I want to play really bad, and next time it goes on sale, I'm gonna buy it. Dude. Number 2, Super Mario Odyssey. And number 1, Trailblazing from all the other game of the year. The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild. Congratulations to everyone. It's an honor to be nominated, I suppose.
Zach, we did it.
We did it, man.
And I sure hope that review we were promised is going to be a 5-star one. Because oh boy,
we had someone offer 3 reviews for Splatoon 2 getting back on the list.
Yeah, really? I'm not caving.
I didn't see that. I guess what the new number 2 is.
I feel like if I
replace Mario Odyssey with Splatoon 2, I'd agree.
I'm glad that Neal reviewed Breath of the Wild, because I feel like if I had reviewed it, it would just be, I saw birds. And there was a bear. Well, how'd the gameplay go, Zach? I didn't really like it.
Neal, did you review Mario Odyssey?
I did not.
Oh, that's really some
circumstances around Mario Odyssey that we have to own up to that.
Yeah. No, it was just interesting because I was like, oh, if Neal gave Mario Odyssey a 9.5, this would be the funniest shit right now.
Actually, the highest rated game on this
list. Samus Returns. Well, didn't Dig 2 also get a 10?
Yeah, Don gave it a 10.
Dig 2 got a 10 and a 9.5.
Okay. Odyssey got a 10. Breath of the Wild got a 9.5. Samus Returns got a 9.5. And Battle Chef Brigade got a 9.
Samus Returns got a 9.5? Holy shit.
Yeah, for me.
Oh, shit.
I really like Samus Returns. Yeah.
I think it is the first game with the potential for follow-up that will be amazing.
Yeah, I agree.
But there you have it. All right, Breath of the Wild, congratulations, Mario. SteamWorld, I want to play SteamWorld so bad. Metroid, Battle Chef Brigade. I think that does it for this installment of Nintendo News Report.
Next year's number 1 is Celeste.
Next year's number 1 is going to be whatever you say your number 1 is, because boy, am I done doing this under this format. and now I can appreciate the amount of work the Giant Bomb puts in to turn it to an experience that I still don't even like to listen to. So,
everyone who loves Zelda, please don't hate me for this podcast.
It's no one hates you, Justin. And in fact, when I was choosing people to who could potentially be our new spot on the show, it was purely listener feedback that led to. I mean, it was me thinking you were awesome too, but it was listener feedback that I think pushed it over the line.
And the listener feedback will change now. So it was fun having you on the show.
Yeah, thank you, listeners. I'm just saying, please give me one more chance if you hate me now. But I'm just looking at it from a little bit different of a perspective, I guess, which adds to the show. So.
Next.
Yeah, now that we're done and I don't need to be your mortal enemy, I appreciate your takes on Zelda. I just disagree with them.
No, yeah, that's fine. I'm cool with it. I want the listeners to know that I'm just very passionate that I think the game is very overrated. And I'd love to go on a whole separate, maybe a one-off podcast where I talk about that more in depth or something. So maybe let me know if you want to hear that.
A YouTube video. Here's what's wrong with Zelda Breath of the Wild. And about liking it.
No, because I'd love to have some constructive talk about it, because
you know what video I think
to be said about the game still, and how it's going to affect the future of the franchise, and how I personally would like to see the gameplay evolve, because I think there is in Zelda a decent core game. It's just, to me, it didn't reach the potential it needed to.
All right, Justin, do you know who Super Bunny Hop is on YouTube?
No, I do not.
All right, he is an excellent YouTuber. He does a lot of constructive, not reviews, but criticism, it feels like. Not like criticism in the real sense, not just this sucks, but constructive stuff. He has a video on Zelda Breath of the Wild that I think you would really get into.
Yeah, I'll definitely.
I recommend that one. Next year, I am going to restructure this. Maybe we'll do something similar. Maybe we won't. If whatever we do next year will be something that emphasizes the positive points of video games in 2018, rather than us shitting on amazing games for 2 hours.
That's the problem with these deliberations, is that
true.
I mean, we did the list has still never been revealed, but we did do a very long deliberation on the top 25 Wii U games, and that shit got brutal. I think I said things about Pikmin 3 that I don't even really mean, but I
mean, when it comes down to this, you're picking games over other games, so
yeah,
when it's
hard to do it without crapping over other ones.
You're gonna start even games you like to a certain degree. You're gonna be like, no, screw that game. Like,
part of me wonders if we did this list and if we did this podcast over again, but we added a new rule to make it so that you couldn't shit on any video game. You only have to give positive feedback. You can only say positive things about the video games you're discussing unless you're asked. So for instance, let's say Zelda came up and everyone was silent. Then someone goes, how do you feel about that? Then some of the more constructive stuff comes out. And I wonder if there's something like that you could do to make a deliberations more of a celebration. But, oh boy, this was an interesting experiment.
Yes, it was.
All right. I'll end this on a nice note. If you listen to us in 2017, thank you so much for listening. I'm excited about the future of this podcast. And I think the addition of Justin this year has been a wonderful one. I think we've had some of our best podcasts in the last 5 episodes, specifically the 5-person ones. That was the Nintendo Direct Mini, which was actually a very positive episode. And I would also say the one before that was also an extremely positive episode. And I recommend, if you want to see this podcast at its best, you should listen to those too. Nintendo News Report is on iTunes. Leave us your feedback, your reviews, your praise, your criticism, whatever you have, especially you, Daniel. You can find Donald on Twitter at DonaldMick, DonaldMick. You can find Zach on Twitter at ZMiller1902, ZMILLER1902. You can find Neal on Twitter at Enron10, NRON, the number 10. You can find Justin on Twitter at King Nintendo Fan, KING, Nintendo FAN. You can find me on Twitter at Kulafia, CULAFIA. Go to patreon.com/NWR to support the website that supports our show. Go to NintendoWorldReport.com to read fantastic content, including the website's Game of the Year content, which is still in development.
Yeah, you can. Well, there's a vote. There's a vote going on right now.
It's linked in the video description if you're watching this on YouTube, either in the archive or in the live show. Yes.
Yeah, we are down to 8 games. In our tournament of GOTY, it's Xenoblade Chronicles 2 versus Zelda Breath of the Wild, SteamWorld Dig 2 versus Rocket League, Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle versus Super Mario Odyssey, and ARMS versus Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Now this is reader voted on, right? Readers vote on it.
And yeah, we have 72 votes right now for this one.
I suspect that somehow Metroid Prime will win.
Yeah. And that's what Samus... Dude, SteamWorld Dig 2 knocked off Samus Returns.
Nice.
There's some other awards coming to the site, too. Some kind of wacky ones that should be going up pretty soon.
Yeah.
So.
Georgia?
All right. That's our show. Thank you so much. See you next year.
Bye.
Bye.
This year.